Hey guys, we did it to ourselves. We went to the video game movie adaptation of Until Dawn. This by Sony Pictures. In fact, the Sony PlayStation logo kind of
another
gets
banger
presented
from Sony
before you come out.
It's called Screen Gems for a reason, Joe.
Now this is based on the video game that came out in 2015.
loosely.
However, they change the plot up. They do some kind of Groundhog Day crossed with Cabin Fever instead of staying true to the video game, which was mostly about keeping some people alive. You can make these choices. It was like an interactive game. I'm not going to pretend that I was a fan of Until Dawn or it's some kind of classic that must be preserved and revered. It was a standard horror game. It had some Wendigos in it. If I... I don't care. It's a 10-year-old game, all right? I don't give a fuck. But there's multiple different things that could happen. You can see different death scenes, stuff like that. The point was to try to keep as many characters alive as you could until the end of the game. But there was no resetting. And this, I think, was before we started saving some of our streams because I think we played it. We never reviewed it, but it was a good game. It was an all right game. But but I'm actually not here being like, okay, I want to make sure that this thing is done faithfully, respect Until Dawn. I think I actually have a bit of a different take. I've seen multiple reviews already before I go. I was like, should we do this? We do a lot of video game movies lately, and some of the video game movies lately have been bangers. Some not quite so banger, but
it's
making money, making fucking money. It's a banger for some people. So I wanted to see, man, are we going back to the ages of really bad kind of video game movies? So I watched a few reviews. A lot of people, really negative on it. So let's jump right into the review. Should you bother with this video game movie? I'll start with the boys. What did you think?
No, honestly, this is more of a, if you want to put it in the background, stream it for Halloween or something, but do not go out and see this movie. I honestly didn't really enjoy it. There were some good moments that I did like in the house. Didn't expect some of the cool like scenes. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I don't like the chemistry between the cast. I didn't like, there was nothing but jump scares. There's no lead-ups. It's just a loud movie, and it was trying to do its own thing, but I just didn't hit for me.
Well, some people really like having watching a black screen and having a flashlight being into your eyes, and so I think those people are going to love this movie.
Okay.
I didn't hear great things about this movie, and so when I sat down, I know people don't always believe me, but I try to give every movie a shot, and I really enjoyed the first 20 minutes of this movie. Like, no bullshit.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. I really enjoyed the first hour of the film. I checked my phone. Normally when I check my phone, it's a bad sign. But I'm like, man, I'm really enjoying this. I'm into it. And I went to about an hour.
Yeah, there's some cool scenes in the house and stuff. Yeah,
there was more than cool scenes for me, Joe. I was enjoying it for a full
hour. I don't know.
I think it's 45 minutes because I'm including the scenes.
We're kind of there's at one point in the movie where it's like, hey, this is kind of a tone change. And then it just kind of went off the rails from there. But like I was legitimately enjoying this. It's like, hey, this isn't so fucking bad. Where are people's expectations? Sometimes I'm in the mood for a bad horror movie. And I got that until I fucking didn't. And then they gave me nothing good for the rest of the goddamn movie. And now I'm with this guy. Fuck this movie. Don't see it. If you can have the ability to watch 30, 45 minutes of it until it gets bad, then I guess just don't pay money for it. Because it spirals out of control and then it gets bad.
There you go. There you go. Joe Bad. Alex is like, I was enjoying some of it, then it goes bad. Me, I enjoyed more of it, and then it doesn't know how to end. You know how horror movies kind of fuck up the ending?
Yeah.
That seems to be a reoccurring thing. You fuck up a good thing. This is directed by David F. Sandberg. I really like this guy. This guy comes from YouTube. It's a horror short. He did the Lights Out thing
on
the
short. Movie,
and then
not so much.
Movie not as good, but it's not the worst film ever. Did Annabelle Creation, which was, in my opinion, the best of the Annabelles. He did Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and now Until Dawn. And as I said before, here's what I appreciate. And I've seen some behind-the-scenes stuff on this particular film. Practical effects. That's what I appreciate.
Yes.
Love the practical effects. Love the gore. David F. Sandberg, he knows how to do that kind of stuff. He seems to appreciate that older style. So we do get that gore fest. We get some payoffs there. It's just the plot. And it sucks because, like, I was at an 8-9 territory during the first bit of it, the hour there. It's really, if I can pinpoint it, there's a scene in a bathroom, and I really love this scene. It's an audience pleaser.
Yes.
The 4 people that were in the theater with us, so this ain't gonna make money, was laughing and kind of put some jolt into the audience there. And we'll talk about it in spoilers. And then I think maybe a few minutes after that, it's like, okay, where are we going to go? And then when it's kind of revealed where we're going and how we're going to resolve this, that's when those bad horror tropes appear. Whereas it's had pretty good pacing, multiple kills. You got to survive this. There's some dread and some tension there, and I appreciated that, but it just fell apart at the end. Yeah. And so it's extremely difficult for me to recommend something like this. Now, usually I would come from an angle of, fuck this, it's not... why not just use the video game story, and why you gotta change things and make it worse? And they were changing things and making it better for the first bit. And then they didn't know how to end it. They didn't know what to do after they got to that point, how to resolve the situation, and they ended up fucking it up and changing it and making it worse. So... It's a damn shame. Now, this isn't, I did a little bit, this isn't the worst thing ever. I can't talk a little bit. You saw somebody take over for a little bit while I look this up.
Yeah, I mean, so we it sounds like we were kind of at the same point in the movie where it was like, hey, things were getting good, and then there was a wild tone.
Characters. Let's talk about characters.
There are no characters in this movie. It's just like 5 idiot teenagers, and one's a little kookier than the other, and one's a lack of a better word, simp. And then there's 2 generic teen girls, and then like 1 dude bro.
So I didn't like the cast.
In this.
I couldn't root for them. I was just like, okay, I guess just go ahead and get killed.
I did like
Robert Stormare.
The
greatest character actor of all time. And
Peter Stormare.
He's awesome.
Dr. Hill.
He's awesome, but not in this.
Yeah. He's not in it enough. He's literally in it the 3 minutes. That's pretty much it. And maybe if they had utilized him a little more, that could have worked. But, man, I hate to do this because, like I said, for an hour there I was really engaged. Unfortunately, there's another 40 minutes, and it just doesn't really do it. Now, I found what I was looking for. So, video game movies, right? We've been doing good. They've been making a lot of money. I think this one is going to bomb. This one's probably not going to make a whole lot of money. Our upcoming video game movies... This isn't the worst, right, I've ever seen. That era, does anybody remember the era of Uwe Boll?
Oh, yes.
I had no idea how this guy had so many video game movies.
Yes, he did. House of Dead.
Keep going, Joe. Alone in the Dark.
Yes.
Blood Rain.
Slater.
Postal. Fucking Far Cry. Fucking Dungeon Siege. How the fuck was this man financing his shit? In the early 2000s, there was this crazy German guy that would make some of the worst fucking crap ever.
He'd sell DVDs, man. That's how that used to work.
Like, I'm not joking. And it's what I'm saying is this film is far away and beyond and better than that. So if you're looking for like House of the Dead horror,
now I'm curious what was his best
Dark,
one.
I'll tell you here. So here's some of the worst video game movies ever. Alone in the Dark got 1% on Rotten Tomatoes. House of the Dead got 3% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's progress.
And I'm going to keep going because I did a lot of research. This is not all Uwe Boll. I'm telling you the worst video game movies. Well, those 2 are, but Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li, 3%. In the Name of the King, Uwe Boll, Dungeon Siege, 4%. Blood Rain, 4%. I disagree with Blood Rain. Blood Rain has enough in it. You know, she's hot, and there's some bits in there.
Like
it's not a 1 out of 10. There's some 1 out
There's
of
a
10.
part 2 on that. Right?
Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
I was thinking about that one. I was like, I wonder where this one
4%.
falls.
Silent Hill Revelation, 8%. Hitman Agent 47, 8%. Postal, 9%. Wing Commander, 10. Borderlands, 10%. Street Fighter, the classic.
Raul Julia?
What?
Raul Julia, 11%.
No.
Disagree.
You're wrong.
Disagree.
You're
That's
wrong
so
there.
bad, it's good.
Yeah.
Maybe-
It's so bad.
Maybe
it's
everyone
good.
just gave it a 5. Because if everyone gave it a 5, it
No,
would...
I think this was like the critics. This is all critics scores. So critics should.
Oh, is
they
this,
didn't-
are the Rotten Tomato scores?
Yeah,
if,
Rotten
if
Tomato
every critic
critics.
gives it a 5, then it's a 0%.
Yeah. Double Dragon, 12%. Far Cry, 12%.
Double Dragon, man.
Hitman. Did you know there were
Terrible
2
movie.
fucking Hitmans?
Yeah.
Hitman Agent 47 and Hitman, 16%. Max Payne, 16%. Resident Evil, we start to get into the Resident Evils now. They're at least above the bullshit. Doom, 18%. Assassin's Creed,
With The Rock.
19%. Let's see. Tomb Raider, 2018, 20%. More Resident Evil stuff. Ratchet and Clank the animation. Need for Speed, 23%. Warcraft, 29%. Super Mario Brothers 93.
Hell yeah, dude.
29%. Uwe Boll, it looks like his best. I have no idea why this is the highest because I think this is one of his worst. I don't know if it's his exact highest, but DOA, Dead or Alive, 33%. That should be 1%.
Probably
I
some
tried
real
watching
big
that.
reasons, Joe.
Oh, right, the boobies. The boobies.
yeah.
All right, let me give you some good ones. Best video game movies, at least on Rotten Tomatoes. Werewolves Within is the highest of all of them, 86%. I've seen it. It's good. I wouldn't call it the best. I think Sonic and Pikachu are better. Sonic 3, 85. Angry Birds is up there, 72. Next is Sonic 2 with 69. Next is Detective Pikachu, 68. Gran Turismo, based on the car game, 65. Sonic, 64. And then Super Mario, 59. So there's a little. I'm saving the okay films for later because I don't want to bore you with them. But so I guess I came in with lowered expectations, and based upon some of that shit, this thing was really engaging. The practical effects were awesome. The horror and tension was there, but they didn't know how to fucking end the film, and they ruined it for me. I will say the characters are really generic. It's more you putting yourself in there rather than trying to identify with one of the characters. If you just finish playing the video games, you can pick out bits and pieces that kind of line up, but don't. By the end, it just wipes that shit away. So if you're a fan of the video game, you're probably going to be pissed because it doesn't do that shit. So let's go ahead with final verdicts for Until Dawn, the video game movie.
For me, it's going to be a 4. It is below average. I did like some of the practical scenes. That was the best part. Again, the chemistry between the cast was boring. I didn't care about that. I liked everything else. And I've always liked the concept of the Wendigo. It's
love
so cool.
the Wendigo,
but
Joe.
they didn't do enough. Yes,
I want to do.
It's
a good
rare.
Wendigo movie.
Pet
God damn
Sematary,
it!
kind of the old one, but doesn't.
There's a movie called
Wendigo.
That's probably one of the better ones.
Yeah,
but I hardly remember it. There's one on Amazon Prime that I've been meaning to watch, but when I started playing it, it's all in this very dark blue shade. I hate that shit.
Like night.
Yeah, something night.
It's all right.
Of course you know
no.
the one sometimes.
But yeah, like they didn't really play enough with that because the game was basically about Wendigos, but I don't think they kind of lean in that too much. It was more the groundhog stuff and the kills. I was like, okay, that's fine. But again, that was the best part, just the kills. Yeah, and then I completely fell off after the second half.
Yeah, I think once they tried to explain the game's story or the movie's story and plot is when they completely fell apart. Like when we don't know what's happening and the characters are afraid
and we're trying to
people
figure it
are
out.
dying, it is, in my opinion, super interesting. I think the kills were fun. There's all sorts of really cool stuff happens.
Yeah.
And then we hit this point and then they kind of try to do a little bit of an investigation, which lasts all of 2 minutes. And then again, like things are played for laughs. It's like I wanted them to kind of focus on the story and continuing the tone that we had before, and it just completely goes off the rails. And so I think they really shit the bed, which is a shame because like I said, I wasn't
fucking choose something.
I was enjoying everything up until I think it's probably the last half, maybe the last third of the movie, where it's just like I don't think it's any good at all, and then you're wasting Peter Stormare and you're wasting all of this other stuff. So yeah, I'm agree with Joe with 4.
I found it. Dark Was the Night 2014 is another one. I don't know if this one's better. But okay, so yeah. It's not a good film. The ending really ruined it, but that first hour I was so engaged. So I don't think I can give it any higher than a 5 out of 10. I want to try to give it higher than 5 out of 10. I do think for some people can hit 6, but you know, maybe if you're staying a little more faithful to the game, and because at least the game has a theme to it. There's you know, Indian lore, the Wendigo lore, the spirit of the forest. It made mystical sense. Here, I don't like what the explanation for all of the different horrors that come and kill the kids over and over, and it's just not sad. And then they do the laziest, stupidest try insulting. It's not an end credit. It's right before the end credits to try to tie it into the games. And clearly, they don't know what they're doing. It's one of those sequel bait things or prequel bait things. You don't even know. And then I went and looked up, what does that mean? And David F. Sandberg's like, I don't know. Yeah, we thought it was cool when we were filming it. We did. I'll talk about it in spoilers.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, you never played.
He doesn't even fucking know.
I don't think you played the game.
I did. I played Until Dawn, and I played pretty much almost all the way through.
No, I mean the other game that I think
there's another game.
Yeah.
Oh well, what was so? Well, we'll talk about it in spoilers. So, with that, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10.
It's generous.
It's half a good film. It really is. That first hour, I was like, okay, I'm really liking this. Everybody's wrong. I'm gonna come to this film's defense. David F. Sandberg doing horror with some gore and good stuff. But as soon as they start to reveal what's behind the curtain, that's when everything falls apart. And we'll talk about what the fuck is this shit. Joe Pesci? Is that what you're talking about, Joe?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, so that's going to be the review. Yeah, wait.
Stick around for spoilers.
Wait for this on... it's a good watch if you can get it in your house, okay? And you can see what I'm talking about.
You ignore the end.
If you... Yeah, or... but...
Go
so
do the
wait
dishes.
for streaming. All right. Welcome to the spoiler section. So basically, what else? So in the video game, this was 2 people went out on this trip before the sun. Man, okay, this is gonna be hard for me to remember. They fell off a cliff.
Yeah,
they died
twins.
a long time ago. One of them's dead. One of them survived.
But you're not supposed to know that yet.
And then go ahead.
Yeah,
We're talking about the original game.
The way it starts, they go into the loft, the ski resort. They play a trick on the sister, and she starts crying because they were making fun of her. That happens, and they believe they're dead. So then they leave. They come back to the same resort, and it's actually, what's that guy from that movie we just saw?
Yeah, Milig,
Yes.
Ramek, something
Yeah,
like that.
Joshua brings him back. He's the older brother, and he's the one tormenting them because of what they did.
They fucked with his sister.
Mm-hmm. And
And
then
his sister died in the year, her anniversary of her supposed death. He starts fucking with them.
Yeah, and they come to find out one of the Wendigos is his sister that survived.
Yeah, and his sister, but there's multiple Wendigos. And then you're like, what the fuck is going on? Number one, how is this even happening? What are Wendigos? Well, it turns out there were miners that, there was a collapse, and, they basically were twisted by the forest because they were told do not mine in this area, this and this, but they ignored all that. They went and mined anyway, and half of them, there was 30 miners that were trapped. It was dark, and they started eating each other to stay alive, and they turned into basically these Wendigos. And so those are the other Wendigos, and you can actually, see different character Wendigos where you can recognize, oh, I've seen that miner's picture, and there's a big gash in his forehead when they show that he died in these documentation pictures, and there's a Wendigo with a slash. But his sister is the leader Wendigo and is a much bigger Wendigo, and then she ends up fighting other Wendigos. She wants to kill everybody too, but she also kind of has a crush on. No, that's another character where she recognizes this boyfriend, and so she's got a crush on them. But so that Wendigo doesn't kill that guy, but she'll kill everybody else. Eventually, it comes to a climax where they're all in the resort, and they use what do? They do some gas.
Yeah, there's a gas leak. They fall into it accidentally, and it leaks, and then the guy crushes the light bulb fixture, and then on the way out.
And then you can flip a switch, or at least one of the endings, there's a flipping of a switch while Wendigos are jumping at you, and then the whole thing blows up, and you can survive that way if you get the good ending or whatever. So it's about Wendigos and the spirit of the forest and becoming something that, a grotesque creature over time through pain and stuff like that. And it ends up Josh dies at some point, but he's not dead. He's revealed later on he's the new leader Wendigo. So the brother character is now the leader Wendigo, and I don't know if there's a sequel. I didn't play the sequel. I know they do these types of games.
Yeah. See, I thought that
you
was,
guys have played
I thought that was Josh in the movie here.
Yeah. But
as the Wendigo.
Mm-hmm. But in this film, initially, there are Wendigos. They make mention of miners. They make mention of Wendigos. So I'm like, okay, all right, let's do this. I'm going to get my Wendigo film. I want a good Wendigo film. Then it's revealed, that shit is, don't worry about that.
They're zombies. They're fast-moving zombies is what they are, because they have nothing to do with anything else here. It's like...
Yes, but they mix too much shit in here.
They did.
Because at the end, they imply that a lot of these other... Because it's not just Wendigos. There's a clown walking around with a clown mask, and he's just a fucking psycho killer.
We have a witch.
And then we have I don't know if she was a witch. Everybody keeps calling her a witch. Even the movie calls her a witch.
So she's a witch.
It says so on the door,
but
witch.
She's an old lady. Fucking.
It says witch.
She's a fucking old lady that's sadistic and mean and shit, and she has gas, and she uses
mind controls
gas to fucking turn one of the characters evil and have that character kill other characters. We also have a poltergeist-like thing that can knock people around and pull them and push them and pull them. Everybody's on the floor in this film.
Yeah.
Everybody's being dragged left and right in this film.
Basically, he's just like getting dragged around everywhere. I don't remember if it was in the game or not. Was it the giant thing out there, like the mist?
That was really cool. No, that's not in the game other than there being Wendigos in the fucking forest.
Yeah, but they think it was fucking
There's
massive.
another thing. So what is all that then? Okay, well, it's all manifestations of the main character's psyche. Ugh.
It's like, what is it, those Bloom games?
The real horror is the trauma we've had all along, Joe.
So they're in the bathroom at one point. This is one of the best scenes in the film. Is they're in the bathroom. They're like, "Fuck this. We're gonna camp out. We're trying to figure this out. Let's not go out there. Let's not do these things.
Until dawn.
We have to survive."
Everyone looks at the
until
camera.
dawn. And then, but there's one of the stupid things is one of the persons like, "I'm really thirsty. I'm gonna grab some water." So don't drink the water. And then everybody else is like, yeah, I'm thirsty too.
Yeah.
Everybody's thirsty at the same time.
Yeah, because they said there's no water in there because she tried it earlier.
The first guy drinks the water, and then he hands the cup to every single person takes a sip, and I'm like, something's coming because
I wouldn't have drank
that water. And then we get the best fucking scene of the film. Motherfucker is just talking, and then he's feeling sick and coughing some blood. And he's like, guys, this and that. Just fucking explodes.
Holy shit.
And it was great. And then everybody else explodes.
I think this was probably the high point of the movie.
Yeah,
and then from this point, everything after this point, the movie is trash.
Yep.
If that was an hour, then that's the point where it was like...
that's where it was. About 45 minutes because I was counting the previews that we watched afterwards. It was like 5:33, and we saw the film at 4:30. but with previews and shit. So I was like, okay, man, we're going. How everybody else is fucking crazy. This movie kicks ass. And this is going to be awesome.
It's like it's not bad.
It throws itself off a fucking cliff.
It face plants.
I see what they're saying.
I'm like, damn it. Fuck.
Yeah. I wasted everyone's goddamn time and gas.
And now I can't even remember. Notice I can remember all the great parts of the film, but then after that, they say, okay. Okay. So basically, we get systematic kills. And one after the other, we see every single person dying, and then they reawaken for the next day. We do that about 4 times, and you get to see it. But then when the film decides, okay, we're going to jump ahead, we're not going to see the rest of the kills. Just randomly, one of the characters is going to say, no, we've died 5 times, and then somebody else was like, no, it's 13.
That's a pretty good cell phone, by the way.
I wrote in the fucking journal. And so then we get robbed of what the film was good at. Like doing individual creative kills that are set up nicely, that unfold in a spectacular way. Instead, it's what Joe said, where one guy goes, man, I feel like I've recorded this. And he pulls his phone. He's like, oh, I did.
It's been 13 days. This cell phone would have been dead. But I saw that in a fucking trailer. I saw it in a trailer. I was like, okay, I was actually intrigued. What the fuck was in her face? And we only see it in the trailer.
This is why I like David F. Sandberg. He's like, you could make the CGI. It's a practical effect. You can see the behind-the-scenes footage. In fact, because it's practical, they should have done more with it. Zoom in it, really show it off. Because if you didn't know that, you could be like, that could be CGI, just really good CGI. And that creative stuff are just fucking 10-second clips.
I wanted to see what happened to lead to that.
Well, then they spend the last half of the movie trying to explain everything that's going on, and honestly, everything that they explain just gets dumber and dumber. And all you had to do was, honestly, in my opinion, you don't explain shit, and you just have the characters get bits and pieces, and if they survive, they survive.
Yes.
But they spent a long time trying to explain, and it's so stupid. Everything is stupid. And then they're going through, and even a scene where he finds a VHS tape and it's like, oh, it's a porno, and they're playing these things. They're playing things for laughs. And
joke.
It's like it's not.
It's this random joke here. It doesn't make any sense. Well, to be fair, some people in the theater laugh. The only other people. That
the people who are whispering laugh the entire movie, assholes. Yeah. Fuck those people. But anyway, they're on the radio and they're talking and they're trying to do all this exposition stuff, and none of it's any good. So just
Dr. Hill is this mysterious guy. He turns out to be in charge of the fucking insane asylum project, whatever. He understands what's happening and he's monitoring what's happening. He was the gas station guy that was like, don't go over there, and then they go over there because that's where the one sister character is.
Yeah,
he says, I might let you see your sister. Apparently he has the sister character chained up, and she has been succumbed to this curse who turned her into a Wendigo. But if it's a manifestation, but is it the curse? So it is both. It is the video game. It's just the way you have to do the work for it to stop the stupid shit and try to make it make sense, where it's like, this is a Wendigo curse. And if you get killed over and over, as you're getting killed over and over, you're slowly turning into a Wendigo. And that's the curse upon the land.
Well, how come he's immune until he's not immune?
There's so many plot holes. How is he immune? How is he in this area?
What does he make his coffee with?
It's shown that when people go into this area, reality is different. In fact, you're in this huge storm, and then all of a sudden the storm stops. I thought that was a really cool effect. It's very mysterious. Cool. And then they're like, whoa, this is called a water wall or something. I don't know. And it's very mysterious. And you go into the house and you're trying to figure that out. But when you go downstairs in the house, it's like, wait a minute, the basement looks like a first floor. There's windows. Why is there windows if this is underground? Well, then it's revealed that the miners, so they tease miners. I'm like, okay, cool, they're going to set that up. And then,
nope,
not really. Instead, the whole town, because the miners fucked up, there was a collapse, but the town collapsed instead of just the miners.
1,100.
Fucking 1,100 people. I'm like, no, no, what? Why? And then you built another house on top. Who built the house? Was it the Dr. Hill guy that built the house? But why? Or is it all supernatural? Or is it a manifestation of Clover's mind where the house is
too
there?
much into it, man.
And then, but you added too many elements.
Yes,
you could have just stuck with the fucking. There's something super. It's a curse, and the curse kills you over and over. You have to maintain yourself. They were starting to do some creative stuff where it's like it's fear. You know, the fear feeds on you, and the more fearful you are, the crazier it's gonna get. But then they dropped that immediately too, and it turns out to be that was just her psyche creating these things.
Yeah, because again, it just went all over the place with supernatural stuff. Again, with the witch stuff and the poltergeist. It's like, okay, I guess we're dropping the poltergeist. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
We're dropping the witch, and then, but then in the witch house, there's the Psycho Man's mask, and is the Psycho Man real? The psycho killer, the Texas Chainsaw
guy. The doctor
guy.
said it's a manifestation of your powerless, when you feel powerless.
He's like, that's common. So it's as if he's seen it before.
Yeah.
He's been around before. Maybe he was around when her sister came and got trapped in this area.
But the explosion, that one's new.
But did she see a different killer? No, because at the beginning of the film, we actually follow Mel for a little bit. She breaks out of a grave, and then she's like, oh, no, not you again. No, I can't be killed again. And then the clown kills her. So it's the same clown. But see how none of that makes sense? Because if it was in Clover's head, then it wouldn't be the same psycho killer.
All feelings of power, when you feel without power, the clown shows up, no matter what. When you are repressed, the witch shows up. Because that's what the doctor said. And then...
They're stupid.
What about the ghost?
The ghost, the only reason the ghost happened is because the kooky girl was kooky.
What?
Because she was the only one that
stupid.
She's the only one that had it because she wanted to be the voice of the dead,
She's
which I thought was
possessed.
going to be something cool,
Yes.
and it's never mentioned ever fucking again.
It's just for that scary moment.
Yeah,
Talking differently.
Now, I get the idea of wanting to do something different, but I think it resulted in negative here. Okay, the reason why they said in an interview, Sandberg and Butler commented on the Adaptations relationship with the original game. He says, look, it turned out that the remaster was coming out roughly the same time, and we were hoping to get at the same time we were hoping to get the movie together. And that was another reason I think, everyone, Gary as well, didn't want to just remake the original storyline beat for beat. And then Sandberg said, yeah, man, the game is pretty much a 10-hour movie, so I think it wouldn't have been as interesting for me if we were doing just the game, because then it's going to be like a cut-down, non-interactive version of the game, which wouldn't be the same thing. So I get the reason why they wanted to do it, but you have to execute it way better than this.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the explanation for everything that was happening was stupid. There's some mastery and some craft there shown when you were actually paying attention and giving time to each kill, tension, setting it up. And it was getting... And I was actually doing this psychological. They were even saying, like, I'm scared to die. And then you can get into stuff where it's like, man, I'd rather die than continue dying over and over. Just let me die. Playing with some of these concepts, but... all that is thrown away to do the cabin in the woods reveal where this room has vampires and this room has werewolves. And then you see a little piece of paper with a werewolf on it, but there's no werewolf. And I was hoping for something. But we do eventually get the Wendigos, which I guess are the miners.
Or the sisters, or the people who've been there too long.
Yeah.
Or the town, but there's not 11,000 of them, or 1,100 of them. And it's like, okay, but does this place really exist, or is this place
it all in my head?
Her mind? No, it does exist. So if it does exist because Mel drove there, then it is an actual curse, and the curse could still be the video game curse, where it's like the spirit of the forest says, "Fuck all you guys."
Those Dream Warriors from fucking Freddy Krueger is like they fight back.
Yeah, it's like. Silent Hill meets Groundhog's Day and Happy Death Day and everything.
That shit sounds cool.
It's all smashed, and it was cool. Like honestly, it was cool until they did the last part, and then they pooped on.
Okay,
everything.
and here's the other stupid ass parts, because eventually this killer, he is shown to be super strong. The way he walks, there's just sound design and everything. And they've attacked him before, and he's like shrugged off the attack. He gets stabbed at one point. He gets hit with a fucking chair that just shatters into 1,000 pieces. He uses one of those pieces to stab the guy right away
right in the
at one of the first cycles. But then towards the end of the film, they're like, okay, this is our last one. We're on our 13th. Nobody has lasted longer than 13th. We all got to stick together and stay alive. And it's like, okay, let's do it. And they notice that Megan is gone. And they look in the video and they see, guys, I'm going to go after the dude. And then she goes after the doctor who was shown like looking at people's dead bodies, kind of monitoring the stuff and going in the hallway. So she follows. So then the group goes over there. They get separated. Some of the group, oh no, they don't get separated. They get there. The killer shows up. The psycho clown face killer shows up. Just as intimidating, falls through the fucking because the houses just have the roof and there's windows or there's glass there, and then he would have broke his legs, but no, he's very powerful, Joe. And he lands there, and then they're like, for no reason,
you go.
We're just looking for Megan, right?
Yes.
And then they go find Megan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll hold him off.
Or wait, is it? Yeah, we'll hold him off, and then so she goes.
Yeah, Megan.
And gets separated, and then those three are later on. They cut to those three fighting the guy, and his powers are gone. And
Because
he's
Joe,
his
they're
ass
starting to
beat
believe.
up.
They're starting to believe,
Damn
Joe.
it, shut the fuck up.
Joe.
Every time I'm explaining something, you guys say, well, Joe, this is this.
You said you had to try to fix it yourself.
It's explained, Joe. He is the manifestation of your feelings of being powerless. Okay. And when they start believing in their power of friendship,
it's stupid.
They going together and they easily kill him. Super easily. How is Megan not reset in the day? If you were in that special room when the time goes over, she survived.
So that part doesn't make sense because I was like, okay, so everybody got killed except for Megan. Okay, doesn't that release Megan from the curse?
That's what it was.
She survived the night.
She survived the night, yes. I don't know.
Why is the curse still there? Don't pay attention to that part. No, instead, Clover, you're the important one, says the doctor. So we follow Clover. She enters an office. There's a bunch of TVs the man has been monitoring the whole time. He shuts the door, locks it behind him, and she's like, oh, fuck. And then he comes in with a coffee. And he's like, la, 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 you're the key. You're trauma. You're so interesting. You manifested what everybody else manifested, but you manifested combustion. I find that interesting. That was a play on your thing. It's like, shut the fuck. She's not interesting in any way. Puts his coffee down, and as he's talking, she moves the coffee. There's a fucking leaky pipe that's leaking water, and we've seen water blows you up and internally. So she puts the cup.
Not all water.
A few of the. No, all water.
No, because how does he make his coffee?
How does he make his coffee?
Oh, fuck.
If you boil it.
He took it from the gas station that he worked at.
Oh, okay.
So then it gets in the cup, and then she moves the cup again. Now, they make it seem like there's like a knife near the cup, a pen knife, and so she's going to use that. But instead, she uses her brain instead of brute force, because earlier in the film, somebody says it's not just going to be brute force, it's going to win this. And so then she puts the cup and then moves the cup, and then he fucking picks up the cup. But for whatever reason, and he's standing right there where the cup
and he
was,
says the stupid
no
thing.
more dripping happens.
He says the stupid thing. He's like, well, one of you has to die.
One person
has to die. Then he drinks it.
He drinks
but
it.
That's
like, it'll
not,
be you.
But that doesn't even make sense either. What are you talking about? How do you know that the curse will let you go if one person dies and the rest don't? Or are you saying, I will let you go, but he doesn't have the power to let them go?
No.
How is he there in the first place? Why is he not being cursed?
At this point, I was just like, can we just wrap
That's
that
what I'm
shit
saying.
up?
Why
Yes.
everything falls apart.
It does. Big time.
And then he drinks the fucking thing, and he goes, and she goes,
BGs.
you're going to be the one that sacrificed. And I love the Bee Gees, Joe. It's hilarious. me and my girl now always say, "Oh my God, I got the Bee Gees." He got the Bee Gees, the bubble guts.
Yeah.
Is what
Sometimes
Joe
that
says.
first cup of coffee hits you in the morning. So
Bubble
I mean,
guts.
yeah.
And he fucking explodes, which then
And then she has to go get the key and rescue Megan because Megan is like
Right.
stuck. The
Yeah.
fucking Wendigo is just charging at her.
why
She's
did
like,
he
"Help
set that
me."
room up? What is the purpose of that room? To
Tension.
generate more fear?
Tension.
But it's not Megan's fear that's doing anything. It's Clover's fear that's doing stuff, right?
I thought so because she's the main
What's the
character.
purpose of the room that the creatures attacked?
It's an artificial timer to
Yeah,
create tension.
it-
Because you
yeah.
don't know how to write a movie properly, you do stupid shit like this.
Right, and so then she's got to run over and get him in time, and the
Just
fucking
in time.
The bolt is slowly coming out, and just in time, she unstraps her, and they close the door on one of the Wendigos. But then all the other Wendigos show up, and so then they all run. They get separated. 3 go this way.
It's just Megan and Clover.
Megan and Chloe have to claw their way
Yeah.
out of the grave that we saw from the beginning.
Yeah, like Melanie did.
So, yeah, and then, but this time, the other 3 that went in a different direction or previously left, pull them out, and they work together. And then the time runs out. And surprisingly, in the movie, all 5 survive.
That's OJ wasn't playing.
Facts. I tried to kill them all.
So you did get the good ending in Until Dawn. Maybe it's a nod to that. The rain dissipates, the sky clears with the sun, and one of the guys, the boyfriend of the fucking
To Abel.
nose
Yeah,
ring
Abel's
lady.
like, come on, let's go.
Y'all want to stay another night? What the fuck? And then they get in the car and they drive off. And that's the end of the film. I'm like, oh, fuck. Fuck. So I guess her sister, is
Is
died.
dead.
She's dead.
She's
Dead.
dead.
There's no resolution. You don't get to see her soul or a butterfly or anything like that. They just said, nah, fuck
she's
it.
dead.
She dead. And you made it out. And yeah. And then they do another scene where they go into the television screens. And the television screens slowly change from that location to the location
The resort.
of the first game.
The ski lodge.
So then it's implied that it's a prequel or whatever. And then now the video game is going to begin. And
Then they'll do a quarry.
and it's like, well, wait a minute. How is Dr. Hill back? That's mysterious. He blew up. But I guess maybe the explanation of why is this guy in this area and
He
why
can
isn't
die.
the curse affecting him, maybe he's a part of the curse, and we were going to get it in a sequel.
He's going to
or
come
something.
back anyway because
Because he has to.
So here is what Sandberg said about it. David Sandberg. They said, Hill takes a sip, his body explodes. It's a head scratcher because in the post-credit scenes, the villain is revealed to have survived. Though they don't actually show him, right?
No.
I think we
He's
hear him
just
or something.
whistling.
Oh, he's whistling. On one of the screens, we see the Washington Lodge on Blackwood Mountain from the Until Dawn game. So is this a prequel, a sequel, or something else entirely? And why is Hill suddenly an antagonist after being used little more than a physical manifestation of Josh's grief in the game? So he is in the game, that particular actor, but he plays a different kind of character. And David F. Sandberg, the director, says, that's an interesting question.
Next.
I mean, it's an Easter egg, sort of. It's a little tricky because when we were shooting it, we actually sort of said, this takes place after the game. So that scene is the lodge after the game. So it's just, so I get what he was going for. He's like, this is a new couple. This is a new thing. And the same thing will happen to them or something. But that doesn't make sense because the lodge would have to have been rebuilt because the lodge exploded because of the gas leak. How could it be after the game? But then he says, but what we're doing at the end, by putting it at the end of the movie, implies that it could take place before the game.
You don't even know.
Then the interviewer looks at him probably in a beat, and then he goes, to be honest, it's not something I've sort of said completely. The filmmaker admitted, I think it can be left open, at least until they want to do a sequel, and we have to figure out exactly what that is. To me, whenever I make a movie, I just focus on making the best that movie. Then why did you film that part? I would say the same with Shazam, where we had a post-credit scene with Mr. Mind and set up a thing, and then the sequel didn't really do anything with that. But we could have, and you have that option. So he punctures his own argument. I just try to make the best movie possible.
Didn't try that hard this time.
No, it's half-assed. And he's like, when we were filming it, we thought it'd be this one way. No. But then in editing, I put it at the end so it makes it look like it could be another way. And then maybe we'll sort it. Okay, if it gets a sequel, we'll sort it out. So that's what that was.
Just go to the quarry, and that way everyone can be disappointed.
Yeah, the boys play the quarry. We actually
we played as much of the quarry as you can play because these games are made for like brain dead people who only have one finger because that's all you have to do to play these games is go and I hit square in time and I didn't fall, and you want all the characters to die because they're written poorly.
Yeah,
again for idiots.
So yeah, it's not the worst fucking thing that there has ever been. Let's what are some of the kills? What were some? So the explosions was good.
There's a lot of pickaxes.
But besides the explosion, the worst one was fucking Megan because I thought she was gonna like completely explode, but her fucking leg goes off.
That was crazy.
And I was like, holy shit! Then her stomach. Oh, she got it the fucking worst.
She was pregnant.
Yeah. So I think
she was still alive.
Yeah, and she's just crawling. I think that one was pretty fucking crazy. I like that one.
There's a great one at the very beginning where this tiny man picks up a chair, and the dude's like 40 feet tall. He's huge, and he hits him with the chair and does nothing. And then the guy picks up a shard and then like stabs him in the eye and then rips it out, and his eyeball is like smeared onto it, and you can see him flick it off. It's like, okay,
this is really
this movie's
creative.
not playing
and
around.
I was like, man, this is 9 out of 10. And then he goes in, there's people hiding in the room, and he's just systematically taking them all out. Bursts through the closet, takes Megan, and just starts smashing Megan's face.
Yeah.
And looking at.
Well, Megan is staring at her friend who has a knife, who's too scared to do anything, and she's yelling, "Help me!" And you thought that they're going to do some stuff. It's like, hey, you watched me die and did nothing, and you didn't know we were going to respawn yet. And there was no playing with that at all.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. Like, they run out, somebody closes the door, and I die.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
I was getting ready for more kills. What did I want instead of what it did? A few more nights, but then start doing escape room stuff where you're like, all right, here are the clues.
Yes,
we look at this. This is some clues here. This some clues here. They tried to do that with the phone, but they fucked it up because it didn't work. Because they're like, oh, she left in that room, and let's just go in that room, and then everybody sticks together. It's as if they just ran out of steam. So. It's not the worst thing ever. It's not Alone in the Dark, House of the Dead, Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li. But it's also
great.
Not a good film like Sonic 3, Detective Pikachu.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Not Mortal I think
Mother,
I'd rather watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation. But that's one of those so bad it's good.
The transformation, man.
So bad it's good. So unfortunately for me, the movie did end up mid, half a movie. What are some of the other mids? I saved it for here. Here are the other mids. According to Rotten Tomatoes, Uncharted. I would say Uncharted is bad rather than mid. Monster Hunter. Uncharted 41%, Monster Hunter 44%.
I tried my best.
Final Fantasy, I know, Joe. Thank you for that. At least you got paid. He was in Monster Hunter, you know. Damn it. Final Fantasy with Spirits Within 44%. I think it was just too boring. Angry Birds, the first one, 44%. Mortal Kombat 95. 47%.
That should be way higher. I like that movie.
That was good.
That one I can say is actually good, and then it's also so bad it's good. And then we have Until Dawn at 52% right now. Rampage 51%. That's the
Rock one. That should be lower.
Yeah. Tomb Raider. I think that's the Lara Croft Tomb Raider from the
recent one, or
no?
Jolie?
Angelina Jolie, 52, and then Mortal Kombat 21, 55.
That should be low.
Nah, I like Mortal Kombat 95 better than Mortal Kombat 21.
Cole ruined it.
Yeah, but all right, so that's kind of. I think we pretty much covered everything that we can remember, and like I said, the upcoming video game movie adaptations. Give me what you think is going to be good and what you think is going to be bad. Mortal Kombat 2.
Terrible.
I don't have high hopes.
Joe, good or bad?
It's going to be...
I
Bad.
think good.
Not what I want.
I think at least as good as Until Dawn, and maybe better, because they're doing the tournament and they know what people want. Don't fuck it up this
you
time.
have-
Do they? They didn't know they wanted a tournament the first time?
Maybe-
Where's your tattoo? Do you
Yep.
have your tattoo?
Why come you don't have
why
two-
you
why
don't
come
have
you don't have
tattoos?
two-
It's got Carl Urban.
Get out of here.
It's got Carl Urban. I
Cole's
know
got
Cole
plot
is going to have to do some more.
He's got plot armor. It's
They
gonna be
killed Gore
great.
already. It's stupid. Okay, Five Nights at Freddy's through.
Awful. First one was
That's
terrible.
First one,
Terrible.
yeah, I didn't like it. They should have had more jump
They're
scares.
hamstrung.
Yeah.
Especially when it was super successful. They're like, oh, fuck, kids make this successful. Let's not go too far.
We
for
have to
kids.
make it a bad movie because this is what these people like.
The new Resident Evil. So Five Nights at Freddy's is December 5th. That's this year. Mortal Kombat 2, October 24th, this year. What's 2026 is Resident Evil. The new Resident
Bad.
Evil is September 15th to 2026. I think it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
They tried it so many times.
Mario 2, April 3rd, 2026.
It's going to be...
I think this will be pretty good.
Yeah.
I think
They'll
they're gonna
finally
say-
get it right. They'll say, okay, we did the member berries. Now let's focus
let's do
on
a story.
story.
Yeah, let's actually have a plot.
We think that'll be good. Angry Birds 3, January
Bad.
2027.
Fuck off.
Bad. Sonic 4, March 19th,
Good.
2027.
Pretty
good.
And then finally, Legend of Zelda. These are the only confirmed ones. Legend of Zelda, March 26th, 2027.
I think it'll be good.
Live action's gonna be fucking weird.
It is.
No, I don't think it's live action. I think it's going to
Okay.
be anime. Oh, it's going to be live action.
Live action.
Tom
Oh, there's also
Holland.
Michael Bay's Whiplash is in production right now.
I didn't include a lot of the ones that were in
Yeah.
production because there is a massive
There's a-
list.
yeah.
There's a lot of Sony films, Joe. There's like God of War. There's that Death Stranding we've talked on AJS News.
I don't know.
Bunch of ones.
God of War, Sony.
Anyways, since I got you here, give me the top 5 grossing video game movies of all time.
Super Mario
Correct.
Brothers, Minecraft.
And then after that,
Angry-
it's like, fuck.
Angry Birds.
Nope.
Is that on there? No.
It's on there. That's
Top 5? No.
that's number 9.
Oh, number 9.
I mean, so
It's recent. One that we all liked.
Sonic 3?
You got it. That's
Okay.
number 3. So it goes Super Mario Brothers number 1, Minecraft number 2, which is probably going to jump Super Mario eventually. Sonic 3 number 3, Detective Pikachu number 4,
Wow.
Warcraft number 5.
Ugh.
Really?
Yeah.
There was a
It
lot of
was
people
I
bad.
never would've guessed
139
number
million.
5, that one.
Then after Warcraft, Rampage.
Why?
Because The Rock was hot at the time, I think.
It's so bad.
428 million. After that, Uncharted, 407, Sonic 2, 405, Angry Birds movie, number 9, 352, Prince of Persia, way back. I still have not
Jake
seen it. I don't
Gyllenhaal.
think I've seen it. Maybe
I think I
maybe
did, but I don't
have.
remember.
336
He has
million.
great spray tan in that one.
Sonic 1, 319, and then we start getting into the Mila Jovovich, which dominates like the 250 to 300
That's all that
million
came
each of
out back
those.
in our time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Every summer.
It was bad. We got the tail end of it on the Angry Joe show for you. The fucking flashing and it's just so fucking annoying.
The sunglasses.
The 3D.
What the fuck?
That's classic skinny Angry Joe show. Go watch their Resident Evil
Yeah.
3D movie review.
Oh, man.
All right, guys. I'll see you on the next Angry Joe show. Bye, guys. And on the next video game movie when they do one. Bye, guys.